I'm a GMAT instructor with the Princeton Review, and this is a video about how the GMAT is scored. So when you get your GMAT scores, you're going to get three totally separate scores. The first is the AWA, or essay section, the writing section. There you're going to get a 0 to 6 point score with increments of 0.5, meaning you get a 4, a 4.5, or a 5, but nothing in between. Your essay is actually scored twice, and those two grades are averaged totally equally to get you that score. Once you're scored by a human, and then once by a computer. And people get really panicky when they hear about the computer scoring because they think, a computer or a machine is going to determine whether they get into business school. But if the two scores are really different from each other, the system gets notified if they're more than a point apart, and they bring in a third tie-breaking grader to assess your score. So if the computer messes up in some way, the system will be alerted. Your next score is the integrated reasoning score. This is on a 1 to 8 point scale, and you get 1 point increments there, so you can get a 6, a 7, an 8, but nothing in between. The tricky thing about integrated reasoning and how it's scored is the idea that it's all or nothing scoring. So you have 12 items on the integrated reasoning section, but each item could be a chunk of text, a table, a chart, and then several associated questions. And for each item, you need to get everything right to see any points. So if, let's say, there's a table and 4 questions and you get 3 of the 4 right, you will get no points for that item. So when you're strategizing for this section, keep in mind that if you're going to rush and miss one here, one there, that's really going to add up, and you want to try and perfect certain items just to ensure the score. Last but certainly not least, we've got quantitative or math and verbal. Each of these sections individually is going to be scored on a 0 to 60 point scoring range with 1 point increments. So you could have, let's say, a 40 on math, a 35 on verbal. And then those are combined to give you your overall 200 to 800 point scoring range. And that's in increments of 10 points. So that's if you've heard people say, to get into this school you need a 650. This is the score they're talking about. And that doesn't include integrated reasoning or the essay at all. It's a totally separate score. It's made up exactly equally of math and verbal. Neither one is weighted any more than the other. And those are in 10 point increments, so you could get a 650, a 660, but nothing in between. While individually they are on a 0 to 60 point scoring range, because of the way the scores are curved, you never really see scores at the top or bottom end of the scale. So nobody really gets, in the low single digits or in the high 50s. And that's how the GMAT is scored.